Good evening, viewers. Once again, we are with you with a very topical subject. We need to have little concern, little care, and consideration for people who are part of our society, and they need little attention from the society. There is a very profound, meaningful reference in Rigved, which has also been taken in Bodh Dharma, Atma Deepo Bhav. बौद्ध धर्म में इसको बोलते हैं अप दीपो भव, बी योर ओन लाइट। अपना दीपक आप स्वयं बने, और अपना दीपक आप स्वयं बनने का प्रयास श्रीमती पूनम त्यागी ने बड़े बखूबी किया है। शी हैज बीन ऑर्गेनाइजिंग कंप्यूटर ट्रेनिंग कैंप्स फॉर द विजुअली impaired to convincing the head priest of Badrinath Temple to pledge his eyes, and Poonam Tyagi has always felt at home with social work. She left the well-paid job and comfortable life to serve the society. Let's know more about her mission. Poonam Tyagi is Director Setu and Vice President of NAB, National Association for Blind. She can be contacted through email, and in the description box, I have also provided her LinkedIn address. The free online computer classes organized by her are becoming very popular. And these are aimed to make visually impaired people tech-savvy, sitting at home. They learn the computer training. This initiative is recognized by CSC and PMG Disha, as it is providing digital literacy to visually impaired people. The discussion is organized by Patriots Forum, which is in forefront in creating awareness and sensitize society to the demographic imbalances and existential threats being faced. We also strive to make people aware about our glorious history, our predominantly progressive outlook in the society, and the future, which is very bright for us. We welcome you, Mrs. Poonam Tyagi, and our viewers would be eager to know how your whole story started, the journey started, where you left the comfortable job and started something which was not very usual thing for the lady of your background. We would like to hear from you.
Thank you, Captain Tyagi. And if I share my journey, जो आपके फोरम का नाम है Patriots, I think that is the key word for me. My grandmother and my grandfather were known freedom fighters, and he would always tell us the stories about freedom struggle and all those things in childhood. So that was our upbringing, to think about others, to think about the nation and all those things. And I remember there were times when I would feel very bad and I would say कि बाबा जी आपके टाइम में तो आपको चांस मिला, अब तो मतलब देश आजाद हो गया, अब तो हमारे लिए करने के लिए कुछ बचा नहीं. तो he told me so many things कि in your small ways how can you help. So I remember as a kid I would teach my gardener, my maid, and I would keep talking to that extent that I would discuss even family planning, at least knowing the meaning of family planning, because I thought कि ये catchy word है, सबको पता होना चाहिए और आपको करना चाहिए, those kind of things. But when I grew up and once I reached hostel, I think that was the first time I donated blood, and that really gave me a lot of satisfaction. That was my first act of doing something for others, and that too for an unknown person. So I continued with that, and for quite some time I was involved during Kargil war. I organized camps for army and these kind of things. Then from blood donation I came across, I was very, very keen about eye donation, and that too just happened. And like your age group will understand. My husband was fighting a war in IPKF. He was part of IPKF, and once when he returned from there, that time we would wrap our slippers and shoes in newspapers. There was no polythene. So as I was opening up the newspaper of Sri Lanka, I read a news about cornea being exported from Sri Lanka, and I could not understand much. And then I discussed it with some of the eye specialists, family friends. So they told me that हाँ श्रीलंका में ट्रेडिशन है कि वो आइस डोनेट करते हैं, तो उनके पास सरप्लस कॉर्निया है और उससे अ ब्लाइंड person can see, it can be transplanted. So that was my first learning about eye donation, and that really, I mean, because basically I'm a person who doesn't like to waste anything. I truly believe in recycle, reuse, and these kind of things. So I kept thinking कि मतलब जला देते हैं, वेस्ट कर देते हैं, दफना देते हैं, and one organ is alive. I mean, उससे किसी की eyesight, किसी की जिंदगी बदल सकती है. तो why don't we do it? So that was the time when I moved to eye donation. Like I would take presentation and those kind of things. And that time I came to know that every blind person cannot be benefited. It is only cornea जिसका वो है. तो तब मेरे को लगा, मैंने कहा अब इनका क्या होता होगा. Then I came to know that they can learn computer, and I was a computer professional, had a comfortable job, and when I came to know about that, then I thought that it is very kind of important that I give some time to people and I teach them computer. So after my working hours, I would go and I became a volunteer with an organization. So like this, you see, journey. I mean, I really don't know 5 years from now what project I will be doing. Anything, but it gives me satisfaction when I am doing something for others, and that too most of the time when it goes that it is not that you are doing this and this is going, like in eye donation you don't know who is going to be benefited, but just creating awareness is important. So so that was my journey in short.
Thinking that a very senior army officer's wife and teacher in a school like Loreto Convent, it takes a lot of determination and desire, very strong desire to serve the society. And now, when you started working for blinds, there are few terms used: visually impaired and difficult, differently able. But the feeling is same mostly,
Yeah.
that they are blind, they are pitied upon. You have sympathy, but then you might have come across people with this type of ability not losing hope. And is it correct that when God denies something, some capability in human being, God also gave other ability in abundance? So have you seen this thing really happening?
Actually, frankly speaking, I mean, honestly speaking, I whenever I am talking to them and whenever I take class, whenever I do something, I always end up learning something from them. Because like these days I'm dealing mainly with the students who are visually impaired, and I mean, amazing spirit, but they know so much about technology and they are so keen to learn, their grasping is so good. So I realized that maybe because a person with very good background and so-called children who are given the best of tuition, uh, you name a book and it is available to you, they do not have the desire to learn because it is so easy for them. They know नहीं भी किया जिंदगी में तो कुछ बहुत कुछ है जो मिल जाएगा. While they know, my students, they know that this kind of computer education can actually change their life. Getting a government job can change their life. So then, what you say that there's a fire in the belly कि कुछ करना है, कुछ करना है. एक एक चीज का इतना अच्छा यूज करना, इतना अच्छा. तो आई ऑलवेज लर्न समथिंग. और जिस तरह से वो लोग ठाका मार के हंसते हैं, छोटी छोटी बात पे खुश हो जाएंगे. क्या हो गया आज, क्या हुआ आज, मैम घर में सब्जी बनी थी. तो मतलब ये सब चीजें एकदम ऐसा लगता है कि द थिंग्स विच यू आर टेकिंग फॉर ग्रांटेड, कि 3 सब्जी बनी है फिर भी नाक धो चढ़ा के खाना खा रहे हो. मॉल में गए, इतना पैसा खर्च कर लिया, वो लाए उठा के फेंक दिया कि नहीं फिटिंग ठीक नहीं है, पहले पैसे खर्च कर दिए फिर उसको कर्ज कर रहे हो. तो दैट हैज बिकम द एटीट्यूड ऑफ like most of the people these days, because we don't value money, we don't value time, we don't value our resources. So I think I always, they keep me grounded, कि हमेशा रहता है कि हाँ मतलब ये इस पॉइंट से सोचो तो आपको लगेगा कि हाँ कितना अच्छा है कुछ नया खरीदना, कुछ अच्छा खाना, कुछ भी छोटी सी चीज, एनी आउटिंग.
My aim behind asking this question was that I all along had a feeling that mostly people think that anyone who is differently able has been missing something, and for that we need to pity or we need to sympathize. But on close interaction with them, I found that they are so full of life, vivacity, the desire, the determination, which is so infectious that those who work closely with them, they, in fact, because of the interaction, they feel more motivated and stronger.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I knew that you would support my feeling, and with that, I have little inquisitiveness in mind that you are professional, expert in computers, you have been computer teacher. Blind people is big challenge. What what approach you use? What is something technologically something different, or you have innovative approach to computer training?
It is technology only. Technology is playing a big role, and we call it assistive technology. That is, it assists them in this thing, and that has actually changed their lives. Like blind people now can surf the net, they can fill up the online form and everything. They just have a talking software, text to speech. So whatever they are typing, they, because many people ask me, I'm glad that you asked this question, because many people think that they use a laptop with braille. That won't help, because they ultimately they have to get the output. So output they get through their ears. So whatever they type, they hear that thing, and that is a simple software. It is freely available and anybody can download it. So in fact, last week only I gifted one computer to a family where one son is blind. So now they live in a village, so now the whole family is learning through that NVDA only. They say it does not really make any difference. So technology has I mean, plays a very important role in their this thing.
So the laptop or the computer which they use uh, for their training and for the purpose of using computer, they will not need keyboard.
They will not, but it is advisable if you have, because a sighted person can also, and as a matter of fact, they don't even need the screen for that matter. And
But
there are occasions when a monitor wasn't working, and even then a blind person was working on that. So a sighted came and he was shocked. He said, "Ki, what is he working to?" Because we are so used to seeing everything. And me being a computer professional, for my first this so I mean when I was new, so everything I will say कि just look at the monitor, आप देखो आपको यहाँ पे दिखाई पड़ रहा है, then I would correct myself कि नहीं दिखाई नहीं पड़ता, सुनाई पड़ता है. So it is just initially it looks very difficult, but it is not. It is not. They don't
The
use the mouse. They don't use the keyboard. Of course, they use because they press the keys with this. They don't need the monitor and mouse as such.
the project which you have undertaken, I have mentioned in introduction that these are recognized by few bodies, and those recognitions mean what? If they are
Well,
recognized, then they are incentive for training, or their training cost is borne, or something like that.
yes. The thing is that, like, I was running this course since 2006. I mean, before that, also almost 10 years we were doing, and we were working in a blind school. Like, we had set up our own computer lab there. But during this COVID, schools were closed, so I didn't know what to do. So I thought that I will start the classes online, and now that has become such a good thing for blind people, because initially there was a limitation ऑफ जियोग्राफिकल एरिया कि जो मेरठ के बच्चे हैं वही मेरी क्लासेस में आ सकते हैं, उनको भी आने जाने का वो था, या किसको मेरी लैब में आना है. नाउ from all over India, I have students from Kashmir, from Nagaland, from Telangana. Anybody who comes across the coast, they can just kind of get admission in this. And somehow CSC, that is Common Service Center, they are doing a great job in the kind of they are running classes for English and so many things. So they came across this, and then they thought of adopting my syllabus and my course for blind people. Is my my students are benefited because the certificate now which they are getting has a logo of CSC. And PMG Disha, again, PMG Disha means they are providing digital literacy to people in villages, and 90% of my students live in villages. तो इतनी बड़ी बात है कि जो आप किसी छोटे से गांव में कहीं बैठे हैं, क्योंकि कभी कभी वो लोग अपना वीडियो ऑन कर देते हैं, तो मुझे पीछे का जो बैकग्राउंड दिखाई पड़ता है, तो इतना पैथेटिक कि ईंट की टूटी हुई दीवारें हैं, एक वो उसका जिसको बोलते हैं ना, और उसमें आप देखो कि एक लड़का या एक लड़की अपनी कॉट पे बैठा हुआ किचन में काम कर रहा है और कंप्यूटर सीख रहा है और मुझसे बात कर रहा है कि मुझे बैंक का एग्जाम में अपीयर होना है. So it gives so much of satisfaction, and when you have this stamp of government recognizing this, तो वो उनके लिए बहुत बड़ी बात है. Whenever they apply for any job, they will get this benefit.
Can there be similar recognition under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana?
Yeah, I didn't try it, frankly.
But I believe that the under Kaushal Vikas Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, if this kind of training is recognized, then there will be incentive not only for the establishment who is organizing such training classes, but also to the candidate. There is incentive. So I really don't know the whole procedure, but I have feeling that this will benefit project like yours.
Yeah,
so, ma'am, yes.
Yeah, I will try. I mean, this is in my mind, but I'll try.
You have initially mentioned, and that was your early approach to supporting blind people, making them enabled and independent. Initially, you mentioned you started with the eye donation.
Yes.
And people have, a myth eye donation means complete eyeball, and this is taken from donor and put on receiver's eye socket. That is not the case. It is basically uh, a part of eye
Yeah, only
which is
cornea.
only cornea.
Hmm.
So you might have motivated, and I am sure that you might not have any uh, process to know how many people you motivated could actually donate their eyes. I written a pledge long years back, many years back, and I do not know where that pledge is, and I do not know, which hospital to contact. So it is going to be a constant reminder to those who are in the list of donors to keep them reminding and keep them updating that nearest hospital is like this. So it is very work in process type approach. So you
No,
still get involved in that activity, or it is left for some other section
no,
of
no,
your
no, no,
part of
no.
your life?
Every year, the last week of August and first week of September is celebrated as Eye Donation Fortnight. So that had just gone, and I was there with Meerut Eye Bank, and why we desperately need is because one third population of blind people lives in India. That means all from all over the world, every third person, third blind person is an Indian. So we have such a large population, and on top of that, we are not really aware about eye donation, as you mentioned. In advanced countries, most of the deaths take place in hospitals, and hospitals, they have a nurse, they have a team which would guide, and most of the countries have made it more or less compulsory, like in the lifetime only, किसी भी कार्ड के पीछे उनका लिखा रहता है, you just have to put a tick mark and that's it. In India, the process is very complicated, and I really don't know why. So COVID time, I wrote a I approached PMO because COVID time में इन्होंने बंद कर दिया था. So my this thing was, I was very upset about it because such a long waiting list or be increase ho gayi. So I wrote, I said ki when liquor shops can be opened, so why not this eye bank? Like आप precaution ले लीजिए कि COVID वालों का नहीं लेना है, जो करना है, but don't. So I'm happy that at least now it has restarted, but waiting list has increased a lot. और अगर डेटा की बात करें तो इन ए प्लेस लाइक दिल्ली, दिल्ली में एक ईयर में जितनी डेथ्स होती हैं उसमें से अगर 50% लोग भी आई डोनेट कर दें, मतलब उनकी फैमिलीज आई डोनेट कर दें, तो विद इन 1 ईयर इंडिया, पूरे इंडिया में कोई भी वेटिंग लिस्ट नहीं बचेगी. तो इट इज सो सिंपल एंड इट इज सो डूएबल थिंग. पर होता क्या है कि जैसे आप कह रहे हैं कि कार्ड का, इट इज जस्ट क्रिएटिंग अवेयरनेस कि जब भी जिसकी डेथ होती है उसको मन है या नहीं है, या उसने आई डोनेट की या नहीं की, प्लेज फॉर्म भरा या नहीं भरा, ये सब चीजें बहुत ज्यादा मायने नहीं रखती हैं. सिर्फ एक चीज इंपॉर्टेंट होती है कि उसके किसी भी मतलब सगे संबंधी या अड़ोसी पड़ोसी किसी को उस टाइम याद आया कि नहीं कि आई बैंक को कांटेक्ट करना है. विद इन 6 आवर्स कोई भी जो क्लोज बाय आई बैंक हो उसको कांटेक्ट किया जा सकता है और उसे लिया जा सकता है. एंड इफ यू टॉक अबाउट माय पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस, तो मैंने आज तक कभी भी ऐसा नहीं देखा. मैं मतलब लाइक पता चला कि डेथ हो गई है, मैं सडनली पहुंच जाती हूँ, और मैंने कभी ऐसा नहीं देखा कि फैमिली में जो भी डिसीजन मेकर है उसको मैं अगर 5-6 मिनट बात करूं और किसी ने मुझे आज तक ना नहीं कहा है. पहले मुझे भी बहुत फिक्र होती थी, एंड पीपल इन इंडिया पीपल डू से नास्टी थिंग्स कि ब्लड डोनेशन करा रहे हो तो शायद पैसे मिल रहे हैं. आई डोनेशन का भी पीपल वुड कि आपको कोई टारगेट पूरा करना है क्या, आपका कितना कमीशन, एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स व्हिच यू जस्ट इग्नोर बिकॉज यू फील कि निस्वार्थ भाव से कभी इन्होंने किसी के लिए कुछ काम नहीं किया होगा, तो शायद इसीलिए इनको भी हमेशा दूसरे की मानसिकता पर संदेह है कि इसमें जरूर कुछ पैसा इनका फायदा होगा तभी कर रही है, तो आई जस्ट इग्नोर इट। बट अगर आप किसी को भी आराम से कन्विंस करो कि इनकी तो डेथ हो ही गई है, और अगर आप मुझे इजाजत दें तो आई विल कॉल समवन एंड टू पीपल विल बी एबल टू सी विद हिज आईज। एंड आज तक मुझे किसी ने नहीं मना किया। वो थोड़ा सा रिलेक्टेंट होता है, फिर अच्छा ताऊ जी से पूछेंगे, अच्छा इनसे करो, अच्छा अम्मा मना कर रही हैं एंड ऑल, बट अल्टीमेटली हमेशा हमेशा एंड में हाँ भी कहते हैं। एंड उसकी जो नेक्स्ट सेरेमनी होती है उसमें मुझे कोई ना कोई थैंक यू भी कहता है फैमिली से, कि आपने उस टाइम याद दिला दिया, तो हमें भी हमें तो ध्यान ही नहीं रहता। तो द थिंग इज कि कीप मेकिंग नॉइस अबाउट इट। more and more people should know कि filling up a form is not important. It's only thing important is कि किसी भी फैमिली मेंबर से हाँ कहलवा के और आप नियर बाय उसको फोन कर दीजिए। That's it. It's as simple as
Yeah.
that.
Most of our viewers may not be aware. It is something new which has happened unnoticed. When you go online to renew your driving license, or for that matter, when you apply for new driving license, there is in the process there is a part where you are requested to click or ignore. And if you click, then this is for your willingness to donate organs in case of your accident.
Yes, yes.
This is something very very commendable, and most people do not know about it. So my request to all the viewers is, whenever your driving license is due for renewal, go to online, go through the whole process, and click yes where that portion about organ donation comes. In fact, in Sanatan Dharma, there is something great about that feeling. What we have in physical sense is going to somewhere where from it is going to come back also. So we believe in cycle, and the feeling and the trust that when you donate eyes, your near and dear one will be looking at the world and looking at you through that receiver's eyes, and that feeling that in uh, very deep sense, the person is not dead, person is still alive and around you. So that feeling, in fact, when people realize, gives them a lot of comfort and also the confidence to willingly agree for donation. And you have been very right that it is kind of a spark at the right time. And I know that when person, if I am dead, I am not going to argue anymore. So what matters is my family members take a resolute decision that that donation is what they favor, and the one whose organs are being donated is not there to object about it. So that is on lighter side. But ma'am, I know that the task you have undertaken requires a lot of resources, means a lot of money. Funding is always big challenge for kind of work you are doing. So how do you get funding? I'm sure that you must always be very short of money, always.
Actually not, because my biggest source of funding is my husband. I mean, we are working on his army pension, because see, it is when I decided to quit my job, and he only encouraged me to start my NGOs. He was very kind of encouraging for that. So my biggest thing was the same कि मेरे से नहीं हुआ कि मैं जाके कहीं प्रेजेंटेशन करके और वो फंड रेज कर रही हूँ, नाउ दैट इज नॉट माय कप ऑफ टी, एंड इट इज नॉट, अभी भी नहीं होता। तो ही clearly asked me, by then both our daughters were well settled, so he said ki, why do we need pension for, we have everything, so I'm giving you this much amount for a month. So I was very happy, and that is the normal amount which I mean ladies normally spend on say jewelry, sari, जो भी अपनी hobby होती है. तो he says कि I'm taking it that this is your hobby and you want to spend on that, and I'm not telling a lie. Till date मेरा कोई भी project फंडिंग की वजह से नहीं रुक रहा. हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ हो जाता है, कहीं ना कहीं से कुछ ना कुछ मिल जाता है. एंड लाइक वी गिव मनी फॉर हायर एजुकेशन ऑफ ब्लाइंड पीपल. लाइक उनका जब एडमिशन फी नहीं होता तो वी गिव अ चेक डायरेक्टली टू द कॉलेज. और कभी ऐसा हुआ नहीं कि आज तक कि किसी ने अप्रोच किया और हमें नहीं हो पाया. मतलब नॉर्मली कोई किसी का फोन आ जाता है, कोई रिलेटिव की ये ओकेजन है, इसकी जगह मैं देना चाहता हूँ, ओके आप ये वाला ड्राफ्ट आप बनवा दीजिए, आप भेज दीजिए, एंड ऑल दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग. सो आई डोंट थिंक कि सोशल सर्विस करना अगर सोचो तो उसमें फंड बहुत बड़ा वो मुद्दा है. वो नहीं होता. आप अपने रिसोर्सेस में बहुत बहुत कुछ कर सकते हो. देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स. इट इज नॉट एन एक्सपेंसिव हॉबी. इफ आई कॉल इट, इट इज नॉट एन एक्सपेंसिव हॉबी. Anybody can. It just needs your time and it just needs your imagination how to utilize it. Like अभी आजकल जो मैं ब्लाइंड लोगों के लिए जो कंप्यूटर ऑनलाइन क्लासेस करवा रही हूँ, उसमें माय बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम इज दैट मोस्ट ऑफ देम डू नॉट हैव द लैपटॉप्स. और उनके लिए मतलब they are just learning but they cannot practice, so you can understand. And the families where, as I mentioned, कि जहाँ सब्जी हफ्ते में 2 दिन बनती है, asking them to buy a laptop for their blind daughter is impossible. So I keep requesting people कि जब लैपटॉप आपका नहीं होता, like most of the time we just upgrade our systems के स्लो हो गया है, इसकी मेमोरी थोड़ी कम हो गई है, तो वी जस्ट गो फॉर अ फैंसी न्यू थिंग एंड इट हैज नो रीसेल. 500 और 1000 से ज्यादा में नहीं जाता है. So I keep telling my friends and relatives and everybody that if you are upgrading your laptop or mobile, then just give it to a blind person. Like I will identify and I will tell you how to go about it, and we will put the software and everything, and then you can just send it across. So it is working. It works.
Amazing attitude. Let me tell you, I find it very strange that when question of funding comes, someone can actually say that I don't need fund. But then that also shows the honesty of intention. And I know few of my friends, I myself included, my laptop or my children's laptop about every third year, if not more,
Yes.
they go for upgrade. And I still do not know what to do about those old laptops which are left. But those are really old. But now I know that if I upgrade or my children's laptops are upgraded, and someone is going to get only 1,000 rupees, let them realize. And now here I appeal my viewers that remember that that 1,000 rupees you get out of your old laptop is peanuts for you. You are going to buy a new laptop worth 55,000, 60,000, even more. So 1,000 rupees is peanuts. And you go for evening snacks with your family, and that is the money, triple the amount you spend on your evening outings. So think about it. I have given the email in the description box. I have given LinkedIn ID of Mrs. Poonam Tyagi. And on her request, I will update and put a phone number also, the number which is shared, so that you can directly contact and work out how your old laptops can be dispatched. And
It can change someone's life. It can really change someone's life.
in fact, I know many, two of my friends who are in hardware, software business, and they keep on telling, कैप्टन साहब हमारे पास रोजाना छोड़ जाते हैं ग्राहक, उनको पता नहीं इनको घर ले जाकर क्या करेंगे, तो डंप कर जाते हैं, and we don't know what to do. So now I will tap my those resources also, that whatever the amount you have in mind, let me know and I'll buy that. So, ma'am, again back to the track. This is let our viewers know that this is not marketing pitch I am making. It is very clearly shared by Mrs. Poonam Tyagi that she is not interested in donation. She is happy and contented whatever financial resource she has, and thanks to her husband, Colonel Satish Tyagi. But then, good thing will always need support and cooperation by common people like us. Let's pitch in and feel good about whatever was waste is being put to good use. So back to subject of discussion, the initiative of this computer education is something which is ongoing, and I am sure that you might have created your trainers.
Yes.
You might be only supervising, and that supervision leaves you with more time and some new initiative you might be planning for the future. Would you like to share with us?
In computer education, I mean, like I started with simple training in computer. Then I realized that they need help in English. Then I realized that Hindi is very good, but they don't know Hindi typing. So it is kind of, and then all this education is of no use if they cannot uh, clear any government any good exam, say banking or railways or something. So then we started preparing them for competitive exams, and now some of my students are taking UPSC coaching also very seriously. So that is their overall development what we are looking, and then higher studies and these kind of things. So there are so many things related to this that I mean, I don't think there will be ever be any this thing that I will be running short of ideas or something, because they only keep giving me ideas. They only keep telling me that, ma'am, why don't we start this, ma'am, हमें इसकी ज़रूरत है, ma'am, आप हमें ये सिखा सकते हैं क्या? So then that gives me the idea, like अभी आई वॉज टॉकिंग अबाउट अ स्मॉल चाइल्ड, तो पता चला कि उसका बचपन में रेटिना के बाद उसका वो हो गया. तो देन प्रिवेंशन ऑफ ब्लाइंडनेस पे हमने पहले भी वर्क किया था, but now again but these are the areas where, as you said, that funding is needed. Like unless someone sponsors my camps, it becomes very very expensive for me. और उसमें 1% या 0.1% वो होता है कि आपने इतने लोगों की स्क्रीनिंग की, उसके बाद 100 में आपको एक मिलेगा, बट आई हैव टू स्पेंड मनी फॉर 100 people की स्क्रीनिंग. तो देर आर फ्यू projects which are very expensive. There are few projects which are doable. So, and in my other organization, Setu, we are manufacturing this eco-friendly sanitary pads. और वो भी बहुत यूनिक हो गया इन द सेंस बिकॉज आई स्टार्टेड ट्रेनिंग गर्ल्स विद डिसेबिलिटी फॉर दैट. तो रिजल्ट वाज अमेजिंग कि जिसको वो लोग पगली पगली कह के ऐसे मतलब बिल्कुल वो करा था, वो इतनी नीटली अपने बाल वाल बना के कि मुझे काम पे जाना है, बिकॉज शी वाज गेटिंग दैट सेल्फ रेस्पेक्ट. She was given a responsibility and she was doing it. So I realized that in disability sector, if you kind of empower a girl, it gives her so much of dignity, and the whole family feels comfortable with. उसको आप स्टिचिंग का काम सिखा दो, कुछ भी सिखा दो, वेयर शी इज अर्निंग थोड़ा थोड़ा. पर again, because of this, we have not been able to distribute those pads in the government schools. So कभी कोई स्पॉन्सर कर दे तो अगेन दैट प्रोजेक्ट विल टेक ऑफ. सो देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स एंड आई कीप वर्किंग ऑन दैट. तो आज कुछ होता है, 2 महीने बाद कुछ और रिक्वायरमेंट हो जाती है, बट या, it is an ongoing process, as you rightly said.
तो ये कैंप ऑर्गेनाइज कराने में तकरीबन कितना खर्चा आ जाता होगा?
अब आज की तारीख में कहना मुश्किल है, एक्चुअली उस पे भी डिपेंड करता है. सपोज से स्कूल प्रिंसिपल और गांव का प्रधान और someone like that is little helpful and resourceful. तो हमें कई बार होता है कि वो गांव की चौपाल और वो सब दे देते हैं कि आप यहाँ पे करा लो. तो that saves us a lot of trouble of kind of like asking children to come and these kind of thing. Then our expenses is only कि you take a team there जो स्क्रीनिंग कर पाए. पर उसमें भी स्क्रीनिंग करके अगर आप उनको बता भी दो कि मतलब बच्चे की आंख से पानी गिर रहा है, उसको 4 उंगलियां भी नहीं दिख रही हैं, आप उसके पेरेंट्स को कितना भी समझा दो कि इसको प्लीज लेकर आओ मेडिकल कॉलेज में, आपसे कोई मनी नहीं चार्ज किया जाएगा. जो भी अगर मतलब स्पेक्स भी बनवाने हैं तो वो भी हम देंगे. बट देन इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट कि उनको कोई कन्विंस करने वाला चाहिए. तो अगेन, मोर देन मनी, आई नीड अ पर्सन, डेडिकेटेड पर्सन इन ईच विलेज जो उनको अपनी भाषा में या अपनी तरीके से समझा पाए और फॉलो अप कर पाए. बिकॉज वो मेरा जब मैंने लास्ट टाइम उसको बंद किया तो उसमें प्रॉब्लम वही थी कि आई वॉज स्पेंडिंग सो मच मनी, पर अगर उनको मतलब नहीं है तो उनको ये था कि हाँ कोई मैम आई, उन्होंने कुछ करवाया और बताया बच्चे का वो है, पर वो फिर भी उसको काजल लगा के मतलब देवर दिस थिंग कि ठीक हो जाएगा, ठीक हो जाएगा, ये तो ऐसे ही है. Because most of my students, I mean, I would say 90% of them could see in their childhood. And it is so kind of, I feel so bad when they talk about कि मम्मी का थोड़ी सी शक्ल याद है मुझे, मतलब मैं स्कूल भी जाता था, पर उनका किसी ने उस टाइम स्क्रीनिंग करके किसी ने उनको सही टाइम पे ये नहीं बताया कि ही नीड्स मेडिसिन, इसका ट्रीटमेंट हो सकता है, और अगर नहीं हो सकता है तो उसी टाइम उसका क्या प्रिवेंशन था, क्या उसको सिखाना था. तो विद द रिजल्ट जब वो बिल्कुल ही बड़ा हो गया, पहले वही कि स्कूल के टीचर अगर कह रहा है कि मुझे ब्लैक बोर्ड नहीं दिख रहा है तो डांट दिया, पढ़ने में मन नहीं लगता तो इसलिए बहाने बना रहा है. तो फॉर एवरीथिंग वी नीड पीपल who have empathy and who can understand the problem.
तो ये तो जो कैंप आप ऑर्गेनाइज करा रहे हैं वो तो इन एंड अराउंड मेरठ ही हो रहे होंगे.
जी.
और ये जो सेतु के बारे में आप चर्चा कर रही थी, तो एक सैनिटरी पैड बनाने की मशीन की क्या कीमत क्या लागत आती होगी?
ये मैंने उससे सीएससी से गवर्नमेंट वो लिया था, और दैट हैड कॉस्टेड अस अराउंड 3 lakhs विद ऑल द मटेरियल एंड एवरीथिंग. और वो उनका एक्चुअली एक तरह का जिसको कहते हैं कि बिजनेस मॉडल है कि उसमें से आप बनाइए, सेल करिए और वो. बट एज आई हैव टोल्ड यू, माय मार्केटिंग स्किल्स आर जीरो, और मेरा बिल्कुल मतलब उसमें दिमाग नहीं चलता, तो मैंने उसको बिजनेस मॉडल की तरह नहीं चला के आई यूज्ड इट फॉर डिसेबल गर्ल्स की ट्रेनिंग का वो उसी तरह से मैंने चलाया. एंड देन आई लुक फॉर स्पॉन्सर्स जो उसको मुझसे ले लें और आगे जाके नीडी गर्ल्स को, जो स्कूल गोइंग गर्ल्स हैं, उनको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर दें. तो इंस्टेड ऑफ काइंड ऑफ अप्रोचिंग अ मेडिकल स्टोर और वो वाला, तो मैं उतना ही रखती हूँ. मेरे लिए वो ज्यादा वो ट्रेनिंग देना उनके लिए ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है.
मैं इस नजरिए से पूछ रहा था कि सपोज कोई मदद करना चाहे तो वो एक सैनिटरी पैड बनाने की मशीन,
नहीं, मशीन से ज्यादा अगर वो मुझसे सैनिटरी पैड्स ले ले तो देन आई विल बी एबल टू गिव एम्प्लॉयमेंट टू मोर डिसेबल लेडीज, डिसेबल गर्ल्स. और इट इज नॉट ओनली डिसेबल, कई फैमिलीज ऐसी हैं जहां पर से हस्बैंड इज बेड रिडन और दे हैव अ डिसेबल चाइल्ड एंड मदर इज द ओनली वन कि बेटा बेड पर है और हस्बैंड ने इसलिए उसको छोड़ दिया. तो नाउ मदर हैज टू वर्क सो दैट शी कैन look after the son and the other children. This is very common practice कि जहाँ पे फैमिली में डिसेबिलिटी दिखाई पड़ी, मतलब फादर नॉर्मली लीव्स हर टू काइंड ऑफ कि मतलब बड़ा डिप्रेसिंग सा है, तो उसने अपना अलग वो बसा लिया। ऐसे बहुत बहुत सारे केसेस हैं हमारे पास। तो उसमें उस लेडी के लिए बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि उसको कुछ इनकम, एक रेगुलर सोर्स ऑफ इनकम हो। So we have a lot of ladies like this. So we like to employ such caregivers or a person with disability.
As part of my social responsibility, I would buy sanitary pads in bulk from your center to be distributed in villages to girls. You would encourage that kind of activity?
Yeah, that will be wonderful. I'm looking for that, those kind of things for that particular project. That will be wonderful. If more people, because अभी वो sanitary pads का हो गया है कि it has become a very common thing to distribute. Like Corona time में भी many people approached me, and the way they were distributing food, बहुत सारी चीजें थी, तो उसमें वो था कि भाई लेडीज का वो भी, ये तो एक नेसेसिटी है, चाहिए। तो एवरीबडी एटलीस्ट नाउ अंडरस्टैंड्स कि हाँ सैनिटरी पैड इज अ रिक्वायरमेंट। और ये भी मैंने बहुत, जब वो प्रोजेक्ट शुरू किया था जस्ट 4-5 years बैक, तब मेरे को पता चला कि अभी भी अल्मोड़ा में वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड टोल्ड मी कि वो, उन्होंने कोई वहां पे ऑर्फनेज खोला हुआ था एड्स के, जिनसे पेरेंट्स की डेथ हो गई थी उनके बच्चों के लिए। तो ही सेज कि वो लड़की बहुत चुपचाप बैठी थी। मैंने कहा क्या हुआ? तो पता चला कि वो अभी भी ड्राई ग्रास लगा के बैठती है। And I said, "Ki this is trend. I mean, in this time, what are you talking about?" He said, "Ki this is actually I have come across this." So that was the time when I thought that हमें कुछ करना चाहिए इस फील्ड में, क्योंकि अब तो लगता था कि बहुत कॉमन चीजें सबको पता है। Then I realized कि नहीं, जिनके यहाँ खाने को और उसका मतलब पैसे नहीं है, तो वो सैनिटरी पैड्स अभी भी उनको एक फालतू वेस्ट लगता है। तो एंड मतलब लेडीज में आधी से ज्यादा मेडिकल प्रॉब्लम की जड़ तो वहीं से शुरू होती है। तो देन आई रियलाइज इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट, एंड देन आई केम अक्रॉस दिस, ये गवर्नमेंट का जो था इसमें इको फ्रेंडली है, बिकॉज आई एम लॉट, आई एम एन एनवायरमेंटल कॉन्शियस पर्सन ऑल्सो। तो मेरे को तब लगा कि बहुत अच्छा है कि इसमें ये बायोडिग्रेडेबल है, तो वी विल बी हेल्पिंग एनवायरमेंट ऑल्सो। So पर वही कोरोना टाइम में that project is in now sleeping mode because of this thing, but hopefully it will take off again.
तो मैं इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ कि अगर हमारे व्यूअर्स कोई इंटरेस्टेड होते हैं तो वो आपसे कांटेक्ट करें और कहें कि मुझको एक
Definitely.
पर्सन भिजवा दीजिए और मैं आपको पेमेंट
हाँ,
कर देता हूँ और ये डिस्पैच आप
definitely. हाँ,
तो that kind of arrangement can be worked out.
correct.
That makes me little comfortable because not only for the purpose of discussion, I wanted to know about it for myself, and it has been a pleasure indeed interacting with you and getting to know about your mission. And the most surprising thing was that here is a lady who is spending money on social work and not on her hobby, not on cosmetics or jewelry, and let it be role model for many ladies, many girls.
Actually,
And
for that credit goes to my children and my husband, who encouraged me this much, and for
definitely people learn, family and surrounding. And if you have learned from your family must have learned from you also. And from you, many other neighbors would have learned. And this is how society evolves to be caring society and welfare society. So little care from you makes entire society as caring society. This itself is so uplifting thought that I'm sure our viewers would be feeling immensely happy and motivated. if not to start their own initiatives on similar lines, at least to support the initiative taken by you. And viewers, kindly go to the description box, see the contact details, and I will very soon add the contact phone number also, which is available for direct talk. And this discussion has been brought by Patriots Forum. It has been indeed our endeavor to make our society more responsible, more caring, and more inclusive society in which those who are underprivileged, those who are differently able, must also become part of us. And that inclusiveness will make our country, make our society great. Thank you very much for being part of us, and wait for other discussion. Uh, every week we bring a very, very relevant subject for discussion with eminently identifiable, reputed speakers, experts, and remain with us.
Thank you so much for